Charm, it sounds harmless. It sounds beautiful? But what if I told you that charm can sometimes be the most dangerous form of control? In the world of female psychology, seduction is not just a game of love or attraction. It is a powerful psychological process that can build or break emotional stability. Many women fall for charm because it feels warm, it feels validating, and it feels exciting. Yet, beneath that surface, there's often an invisible thread of control, one that manipulates emotions, perceptions, and even identity. Seduction begins not with words, but with attention. When someone pays focused attention to a woman, her brain releases dopamine, the same chemical linked to reward and pleasure. This chemical makes her associate that person with emotional satisfaction. It's not that she chooses to. Charm is often misunderstood as a simple quality, a smile, a confident tone, or a graceful appearance. But in the deeper layers of psychology, charm is not about looks or gestures. It is a calculated emotional language. It is the art of influencing how another person feels, thinks, and reacts, without them realizing that their emotions are being guided. For women, charm operates as both a strength and a vulnerability. It can attract admiration and respect, but it can also attract manipulation, depending on who wields it and why. Charm begins where logic ends. When someone appears charming, it disarms the mind's natural defenses. Instead of analyzing their words critically, the brain focuses on the emotions being created. That's the true psychological power of charm. It bypasses logic and speaks directly to emotion. A charming person uses subtle cues, eye contact, tone modulation, empathy, humor, and attentiveness to build a sense of safety and intimacy. These behaviors stimulate a woman's emotional brain, especially the limbic system, which processes trust and attachment. The result is a feeling of connection that feels real, but may not be. In female psychology, this emotional response can be powerful because women are generally more responsive to emotional cues than visual ones. The way someone makes her feel emotionally safe, seen, or special often outweighs physical attraction. Charm, when used sincerely, can create genuine bonds of respect and love. But when used with manipulative intent, it becomes a silent weapon, creating dependency, confusion, and emotional control. This is why charm is often called the softest form of power. It doesn't demand obedience. It invites it. The psychology behind this power lies in something called mirroring. A charming person often mirrors the emotions, words, and body language of the other. This mirroring triggers familiarity in the female brain. She begins to subconsciously believe, "This person understands me." But what's actually happening is emotional synchronization, a strategy that makes her feel emotionally aligned, even if there's no real depth behind it. Once that emotional synchronization is achieved, the charming individual can guide her emotions, amplifying joy, soothing sadness, or even creating emotional dependence. From an educational perspective, understanding charm as a psychological tool helps women become emotionally intelligent observers rather than emotional reactors. When a person uses charm authentically, it's based on empathy and care. But when charm is used manipulatively, the intent is self-serving. The manipulator seeks control, not connection. He studies what emotionally attracts her, what soothes her insecurities, and what validates her self-image. Then he provides those things selectively, making her crave more of his attention. That craving is not love, it's conditioning. Neurologically, this conditioning works because of dopamine and oxytocin, two powerful neurochemicals linked to pleasure and bonding. Each time she receives affection or charm, dopamine rewards her brain. When that affection is withdrawn, she feels anxious, and her brain longs for the next dose. This intermittent reinforcement is the same principle used in addictive behaviors. Charm becomes the drug. The charmer becomes the supplier. That's how emotional dependency begins, silently, beautifully, and destructively. However, it's important to remember that charm itself isn't evil. It's a neutral force like energy or fire. What defines its nature is the intent behind it. In the right hands, charm nurtures connection, encourages confidence, and strengthens emotional bonds. In the wrong hands, it manipulates perceptions and weakens emotional independence. The key to protection is awareness, the ability to analyze not just how someone makes you feel, but why you feel that way. Ask yourself, is this connection balanced, or does it depend on me constantly seeking approval or attention? True empowerment comes when a woman can recognize emotional influence before it turns into control. When she understands that charm can be a mask as easily as it can be a mirror, she gains emotional authority. She stops being a responder and starts being an observer, calm, confident, and aware. Because in the end, charm loses its power over the one who sees through it. Understanding charm as a psychological tool teaches emotional intelligence, the ability to separate emotion from manipulation, connection from control, and love from illusion. The most powerful women are not those who resist charm, but those who understand it deeply. They don't fear seduction. They study it. They don't reject emotional energy. They master it. And that mastery is what transforms vulnerability into wisdom, the kind of wisdom that cannot be controlled because it already knows the language of control.